Rambo: First Blood AI story tells the story of John Rambo, a former Green Beret and Vietnam War veteran who is struggling to adjust to civilian life after the horrors of war. The film opens with Rambo traveling through a small town in the Pacific Northwest looking for an old friend from his military unit. He soon learns that his friend has passed away from cancer, leaving Rambo feeling even more isolated and lost. As Rambo walks through the town of Hope, Washington, he catches the attention of Sheriff Will Teasle, who immediately views him as a drifter and a potential troublemaker. Without cause, Teasle tells Rambo to leave town and even drives him to the outskirts. However, Rambo, seeking a place to rest and eat, decides to turn back. This simple decision sparks a confrontation between him and the sheriff. Teasle arrests Rambo for vagrancy, but things quickly escalate at the police station. The officers, unaware of Rambo's background, mistreat and humiliate him. They treat him aggressively, triggering flashbacks of his time as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. Overwhelmed by these traumatic memories, Rambo's instincts take over and he violently escapes the police station, fleeing into the nearby wilderness. The local authorities quickly organize a manhunt, but they are unprepared for the skill and combat experience of Rambo. Using his training in guerrilla warfare and survival tactics, Rambo outwits and overpowers the sheriff's deputies, injuring them without killing anyone. As he navigates the forest, Rambo builds traps and defenses to fend off his pursuers. Sheriff Teasle, humiliated by Rambo's escape and his inability to capture him, calls in the National Guard for assistance. Meanwhile, Rambo's former commanding officer, Colonel Trautman, arrives in town and warns Teasle that they are dealing with an extremely dangerous and skilled soldier. Trautman explains that Rambo is not just an ordinary man on the run, he's a trained killing machine who can survive in any environment. As the manhunt intensifies, Rambo takes on the National Guard, disabling their vehicles and outmaneuvering their forces. Despite their superior numbers and firepower, Rambo is able to stay ahead of them, using the wilderness to his advantage. In a final confrontation, Rambo sneaks back into town and wages a one-man war against Sheriff Teasle. He causes massive destruction, setting buildings on fire and blowing up a gas station. Teasle eventually corners Rambo inside a police station where the two face off. Rambo is on the verge of killing Teasle when Colonel Trautman intervenes. Trautman convinces Rambo to stand down and surrender, reminding him that the war is over and that he doesn't have to keep fighting. In an emotional breakdown, Rambo confesses his struggles to Trautman, talking about the horrors he faced in Vietnam and the difficulty of reintegrating into society. The scene reveals the deep psychological scars that Rambo carries and how the war has left him feeling abandoned and misunderstood. The film ends with Rambo being taken into custody by the military, leaving a devastated town behind him. First Blood is not just an action movie. It's a story about a man struggling with the trauma of war, the failure of society to help its veterans, and the consequences of pushing someone too far. It's a powerful commentary on the effects of war and the human cost of violence.